I guess, can you hear me? Can everyone hear me? I guess you're wondering, what is someone in literature doing in health? I've always been interested in health, and I've been a Reiki practitioner for many years. And my clients would come to me, and I take a little health history, and I would see that there's a real health problem in the United States. Now, I lived in Spain for 13 years, and when I got back to the United States, it's like the food had changed. Everything had changed. And, well, not everything, but, you know, a lot had changed. A lot of processed food and everything like that. So let's get on, let's see if this works. Yes. So I really believe in the theory and let food be your medicine because a lot of the chronic diseases that we have can be prevented and helped with actual food, whole food, not processed food. So let's get to the next. So what are phytochemicals? Everybody's here. What is the phytochemical? We've all heard of antioxidants. Well, phytochemicals are part of the antioxidants. So they're compounds that are produced in plants, and they shield the tender buds from predators and from harsh environmental elements. So when we eat real food, these compounds are passed on to us through the plants we consume. So that's exactly what they do. But what are their benefits? And I'm going to get to the benefits more than once. There are more benefits than I have up here. They help rid the body of toxins. And we're going to see that we have lots of toxins in the environment, in lots of things. So we rid the body of toxins, inflammation, and harmful substances. We're always, there are 100,000 chemicals that have been released for commercial use. And so we have that in our body also. I'll get to that. They act as antioxidants. They interfere with bad cell replications. And they stimulate enzymes. And that's going to be really important as I get to through the talk. They boost our immune system. They destroy bacteria and viruses, which is fabulous. And they mimic longevity hormones. And that's what I'm interested in, because when you get a little older, you want that longevity. So I'm not going to comment on this because there's lots of categories, and I just want you to see all the categories. So I went through quickly. And where are the phytochemicals in the plants? So they're in the cellulose fiber and in the pulp. So if you're just juicing and you're throwing out all that fiber in the pulp, you're not getting those phytochemicals. Or if you're, you know, when you eat and you throw the pulp away, you're not getting the phytochemicals. So that's where you want to get it, from the cellulose fiber and the pulp. So I don't juice a lot, I do blend. So I get all the fiber and all the pulp. In fact, when I do a lime, I try and cut the outside of the lime so I get that some of the pulp in too, because that's the healthy part. So why am I just hearing about phytochemicals? Well, scientists have estimated now that there are over 4,000 of these phytochemicals, and they're of the known phytochemicals, but there's probably going to be more. Our technology has advanced so that science can now measure these, and they use forensic-like machines. So if everyone, I watch, one of my favorite programs is NCIS, and that's one of my favorite programs. And Abby in her lab, her science lab, she has these types of machines. So I'll have a picture of one of these in a minute. So phytochemicals are the new kids on the block. And we have vitamins and minerals and enzymes, fatty acids, and now phytochemicals. So this is going to be fabulous when you hear the importance that they have. In just a minute. Here is how they actually measure. There's several kinds of machines, but one of them is a flame ionizer detector, chromatography, and it isolates and quantifies the phytochemicals. So these are the Abby-like machines. And I would love to know how to use these. I would love to be a scientist and could be in the lab and doing all this testing. And I actually follow someone on the web who has his own lab. And he does people are sending in food. And so now the companies that want to lie to us and tell us, well, this is in there and it's not, or something else is not in there and it should be, we can now know. So I would love to be one of those scientists, but I probably won't be. All right? So phytochemicals come in small quantities, but they're very powerful. So they may be in micrograms, milligrams, or grams per 100 grams. So that small quantity, you don't have to eat a whole lot of it, but because they only come in a small quantity, but they're very, very powerful. So what are we up against in our modern society? Well, we're up against unhealthy food and beverages, chronic diseases, obesity. I think y'all flashed what the obesity rate in Chatham County was. Environmental toxins, chemicals. We got chemicals in the air and the soil and the water and you name it. Cleaning products, personal grooming, furniture. And now I just read that if you have laminate from China, you got some toxins in there too. But I'm not going to rip up my flooring. So our food, the nutrients are missing in action for a lot of our food. And so food and beverage industry doesn't really concern itself with the nutritional aspect, but they do know lots about chemicals to make things taste great, smell great, look great, and so on. But they're not really concerned about the nutritional content. So if our food does not provide us with a nutrient-dense diet, we are starving ourselves only to eat more foods that don't nourish us. So it's kind of like a vicious cycle. We crave this satisfaction. Our body needs the nutrients. But I'm going to call everything, whether it's toxins or whatever, we only get junk that our body doesn't even recognize. So what does it do? It stores it in the fat cells. And that's why we're getting a lot of the obesity, because they're walking around with toxins. And in a way, the body is doing us a good favor, because if it went to the organs, we would all be probably dead in 3 seconds or something. And we are opening ourselves up to chronic diseases by not getting enough nutrient-dense food. So this is the typical, I call it celebration food, because when I was little, we would only have this 4th of July or a picnic, but this has become everyday food for the Americans. And it's starting to be the world too. This is our grocery store. I generally don't shop in the aisles, but occasionally, you have to buy some like French's mustard or whatever. And since we live in the hurricane zone, we always have to have some canned foods. Now, canned foods are not really that healthy for you, but it's better than starving. So hurricane season, I always have canned food. All right? Now in the grocery store, we see ultra-processed foods. Now the ultra-processed food, and they put it like it's a big deal, like it's wonderful. It's worse. If you can read it, the industrial complex, they know how to fake things. You can read it there. And now they're adding 5,000 additives, and they haven't even been safety tested. So it's a real problem. I'll let you read this thing. Ultra-processed foods compromise 57.9 of energy intake and contribute 89.7 of energy intake from added sugars. So if you're going to do any processed food, and we all do some processed food, we can't get away from that. Just read the labels and make sure they're not kicking all the sugar, and you can't help but eat processed food every once in a while. So, you got to be okay on that. So this is what happens with the ultra-processed foods and processed foods added sugar associated with risky conditions, weight gain, type 2 diabetes, higher triglycerides, and higher blood cholesterol, higher blood pressure and hypertension, coronary heart disease, cancer, and a minimum essential nutrients or dietary fiber. So, in short, we are overfed and undernourished. That is what we are. Here's some medical complications. I'll just let you look at it in a minute. I don't need to comment on the obesity. And this is a comparison of obesity in the United States and worldwide. In adults, 66%, worldwide, 37%, and for the kids, 29% and 14% worldwide. And it's really sad, especially for the children, because you know if they're obese, we know they're not getting the nutrients, okay? So this is the results of standard American diet. Oh, I think I'm in the Phoenix airport. So when I go there, I see that, but it's like any airport. You would see something similar. And back in time, a little bit of back in time, I was looking, well, when did all this start? And so I got something from American Bandstand, and this is from the late 50s, early 60s. Yeah. Notice two things. One, I noticed that everyone was slim, and of course I noticed the lack of diversity. So I also looked, and this is in the 50s, and I thought, oh, they look so happy, these ladies. So, and they're fit and slim and happy. So I said, we got to include them in. So we have approved toxins and chemicals, like I mentioned once before, 100,000. 10,000 food additives. You can read that. I'm going to rush through this because I want to get to the actual food. But this is important. An industrialized country, and with that's the U.S., that we have an average of 700 synthetic chemicals in your body. Not the phytochemicals that are good for you, but the synthetic chemicals. And the vast majority of these chemicals have not been thoroughly tested for potential health effects, nor have they been proven to be safe. So this is what is being introduced to us, and it's not in our control. We can't control that. All right, just toxins. And toxins, this is the toxin roundup and GMOs. Now, I saw a movie about the GMOs, genetically modified organisms. It's on Netflix. It's called GMO Roulette. And if you're ever thinking, oh, what's the big deal about GMOs? Because I was kind of thinking, well, you know, like they put a salamander in and they mix it with this. Well, in a pinch, I could eat a salamander. But when you ever see this, you will realize you do not want a GMO. So you can look at it on Netflix. That's what it's called, and there's so many health problems that are being related to that. So, how can I choose the right stuff? This is from the Last Crusade, and knowledge of what to choose is essential. So if you remember the movie, he had to choose the Holy Grail and the Grail Cup. And so this is the thing, choose wisely. This guy believed all the marketing hype, and so he chose poorly. And that's kind of what we're all doing because we don't know enough not to choose poorly in general. I mean, a lot of people here already know a lot. So why choose wisely? So again, these are some of the benefits. It's the same benefits that I showed before. So now, here is one of the takeaways that is so important. We have the relationship between phytochemicals and phase 2 enzyme. Now this is something I never studied about when I was in college or anything like that. They might not have known it. It was a long time ago. Phase 2 enzyme enables any cell to detox itself from chemical waste and toxins. It's a master healing device. However, this process must be turned on by phytochemicals that act as stimulants. So one of the phytochemicals that really acts as a great stimulant is glutathione. It's one of the most powerful stimulants, and it's found in asparagus. So it is something that asparagus is going to be in the food, and I'll get to that. There are other phytochemicals that stimulate this phase 2 enzyme, or lycopene, quercetin, capsanthin. And the takeaway is, if you're eating low to no nutrient-based foods, you're not consuming phytochemicals necessary to have good health. You cannot stimulate the phase 2 enzyme healing device. To me, that was just, it took a while for it to sink in. And if we're eating processed food, we are not eating the phytochemicals. So that is one of the things we need to whole foods. So now we're going to talk about food. So here's the asparagus. Try and eat it every day. It's so easy to fix. It's the single most important cancer-fighting food. And it's so easy to fix, you don't boil them, you just put a little bit of either olive oil, I use coconut oil, and then you saute them, and you want them to be a little crunchy. And they're just so easy to fix. And they also contain, look, when I said that they don't contain, phytochemicals don't contain a lot, it's 70 milligrams. That's a lot for this. And it also has folic acid. So folic acid has to come through your diet. Okay, avocados. I love avocados. I eat at least half an avocado every day, sometimes a whole. So it has glutathione, and it functions as an antioxidant. So we have 38 milligrams. And then we have, it's good for your cardiovascular. It will adjust and balance. It'll decrease your the bad cholesterol and increase the good cholesterol. And it has the lutein. That's the yellow part in it, the lutein, and that's for the retina, the macular degeneration. That's going to help. And it also has a lot of stuff in there, fatty acids. And it promotes health and blood lipid profiles and enhances absorption of fat, soluble fruits and vegetables. So that's really important. I love avocado. And the newest, or not the newest in India, they know about this for years, is turmeric. It's a detox, it's anti-inflammatory, anti-cancer. It's wonderful. It has so many, I can't even list all the stuff. If you know somebody with Alzheimer's, or you think you might get Alzheimer's, and we all might get Alzheimer's, I would be taking that because it clears the amyloid beta plaque. So it purifies the skin. I mean, it is anti-cancer, anti-inflammatory. You got arthritis, you take that. All right? Kale is highest in chlorophyll. It's a highest source of lutein. Lutein is the yellow color. You know when your kale is kind of getting old and it turns yellow? That's the lutein that's coming through. Lutein is colored and it's fat soluble. That means it has to be accompanied by some form of fat, preferably healthy fat. Coconut oil, olive oil, something like that. Protects eyes from damage and improves heart health, skin, all of this. And when we talk about chlorophyll, well, chlorophyll is your plant blood with the center is magnesium. We have similar type blood, but our center is iron. So it's high electron dense color, blood, and it benefits the blood, may lower the risk of colon cancer. It provides vitamin K. And so it's onions. I love onions, and I'll try and get onions in almost anything I can eat. Cardiovascular aid. It boosts circulation. It's good for prevents blood clots, protects stomach, prevents cancer, and you have your phytochemicals. It's quercetin, and the thing that makes you cry is propantheon sulforoxide. So, and of course, when he slices the onions cry. Because I like Chuck Norris. Right. Garlic is antibacterial, master of sulfur. Okay, trying to go fast because I'm out of time soon. So for immunity and stamina and cardiovascular protection, lowers blood pressure, unblocks the power of glutathione for liver. So that's another one for glutathione. So I try and put garlic in almost everything that I cook. And so there are no vampires in my house, for sure. So it destroys viruses, vampires, and it's effective. Raw is effective against MRSA and high pylori bacteria. So it has the sulfur polysulfides, and it has a lot of things, and also aid in preventing Alzheimer's disease, diabetes, and so on. It's a wonderful thing, and sometimes I eat it a little bit raw. I'll crush a little clove of it in my salad dressing, and I make my own salad dressing. I don't buy the store-bought salad dressing because it's full of high fructose corn syrup and all kinds of sugars that I can't even name. All right, cilantro. I love cilantro. Anytime I can put it in anything, soup, I make a tea with it because it has the phytochemical is linalool, and that's what chelates mercury. So anyone who is somewhere on the spectrum of autism, fibromyalgia, or mental problems are caused sometimes by mercury. So put it in soups. I put it in soups. I sneak it in everything I can. So I cook with a lot of stuff. My red bell pepper, it's a carotenoid, or as the British said, carotenoid. So I'm going to just say carotenoid, but I hear other people say carotenoid. So when I feel uppity, I'll say carotenoid. But I'm normal today. So it's your top free radical scavenging food. It has capsaicin, capsorubin, and it increases your good cholesterol. It's the highest readily available source of vitamin C in your veggies. So, if you don't have citrus, you can use this. It's great for asthma, colds, flu, anemia, allergies. And you can roast it, you can eat it raw, you can put it in your smoothie, and I do. And I put it in my soup too. That's what, like I'm cooking with a lot of stuff. All right. And tomato is master of lycopene. It's free radical protection. Most potent antioxidants in the carotenoids. All right. So maximum level DNA and cell protection. So you have 3 times more lycopene in organic tomatoes than in regular tomatoes. So why would you buy regular? You get quality if you buy the organic. Heart disease, protection. Now this is, I thought, was very interesting. The levels of lycopene in tomatoes. Okay, all right, I'm almost done. So if you have a regular raw a tomato, it's 5 milligrams. Regular ketchup, 6 to 10. Organic ketchup, 18. Now notice how this thing starts going up. And tomato paste, 100, anywhere from 25 to 150. So when I have to choose if I'm going to make a dish that I want to put tomato in, I'm going to cook it and stuff, when I have to choose, I now choose tomato paste. Okay? So that's interesting to know. And lycopene is better absorbed with healthy fat, your avocado, your coconut oil, your olive oil. All right, purple cabbage, stomach healer, cancer crusher, and muscle builder. So I fixed that last night, and it was a wonderful dish with purple cabbage, onion, garlic, lemon juice, capers. Capers is my new thing. Salt, pepper, and olive oil. It was delicious, and I have witnesses to that fact. So your cruciferous, and it doesn't stink up the house. Regular cabbage does, but the purple cabbage does not. And it has your anthocyanin, and that's so it has actually more anthocyanin, which is one of your phytochemicals, than blackberries. So it's a cheap way to get this anthocyanin. So it's high in glutamine, which is that's what repairs the stomach and your intestines and all of that. So eggplant and okra, I call it the dynamic duo. Or in Spanish, el dúo dinámico. So I speak Spanish, so I just had to throw something in it. All right, so eggplant is good for your bad cholesterol and make sure that it balances in immune health. It lowers cholesterol with chlorogenic acid, so it's 2 grams. That's a lot. So it assists metabolism with fat. You know, Dr. Oz got in trouble with the promoting the green coffee beans. Well, the green coffee beans have the chlorogenic acid. And so, you know, some of the people that don't want people to know about these things and want just maybe prescription stuff, this is really important. So it's gonna, I had some just the other day. I don't know if I've lost any weight since just the other day, but I'm hoping. All right. So it stops inflammation with anthocyanin and neutralizes free radicals with delphinidin, which is another. So okra is great for artery scrubbing, colon cleansing, and heart healing, polysaccharide and galactronic acid. So it's magic in the slimy stuff, but I put it in all my soups, in a lot of things, and so you don't even notice it. So strawberries, red anthocyanins, this is pelargonidin. They go organic. Go organic with this, you won't be disappointed. Limes and grapefruit, I'm almost done. Limes and grapefruit, and limes are very anti-inflammatory. So if you've got arthritis, gout, and other inflammatory reactions, use the limes because of the malic acid in them. It can be helpful to reverse fibromyalgia. So malic acid is higher in limes than in lemon. I love lemons, and I do lemons every day, and sometimes I do limes. Grapefruit is the ultimate cancer and antiviral fighter. So it's, if you buy this stuff already packaged, and you can buy grapefruit juice, you can buy orange juice, you can buy lime juice. What they do is they'll take out the limonol, and they'll take out the pectin, they'll take out exactly what you need. They'll take out the phytochemicals. So do your own. You can do your own thing. All right. Basic takeaways. When I have my clients, I say make sure that you drink quality filtered water. Start your day with warm water and fresh squeezed lemon juice. So I do, but you know, I had to work psychologically, because if you're doing if you're like, oh, I got to stop and squeeze this lime. No, I take 3 limes or 4 limes, I squeeze them, put them in a glass jar, put them in the refrigerator, so anytime I want lemon juice or lime juice, I got it ready. Yeah, you have to be practical, because you got to plan ahead a little bit. But if you have, just thinking about squeezing the lime or the lemon is more work than actually doing it. So incorporate movement or exercise into your daily routine. Everybody thinks exercise for weight loss. Well, it does help, but you want to keep your systems going, and it's great for the brain. So eat whole foods, organic if possible. Not everything has to be. Avoid GMOs like the plague, and cook once and eat twice. That's what I do. Make your own salad dressing, which I do, and I have a little star because I have it. Use pink salt or Celtic salt. And avoid unnecessary sugars. Surround yourself with positive people. That's really important. All of these, find time for prayer and meditation. So here's my salad dressing. I'm almost out of time. So I squeeze juice, okay, if it's for one person or whatever, like I do, so I match olive oil and lemon juice because I like lemon juice a lot. And then Celtic salt or pink, Himalayan salt, black pepper. I add a crushed garlic. If I want, I can add a half a teaspoon of brown mustard, to vary. And I make my own salad dressing. So here are my resources. I go a lot to the sites Dr. Mercola, Green Med Info, Natural News, Institute of NIH, National Institute of Health. And my teacher was Jeff Primack in Conquering Any Disease. So that's it. And this is me at the Reiki 2015 International Reiki Retreat. I was giving a talk. I don't know why I included it. This is me after I took the class of the phytochemicals and passed the test. My hair is out to here. And here's my information. Thank you very much. Any questions?